In the wake of protests and calls for change, Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell made a $4.5 million pledge.
And we will continue to invest in organizations.
Good evening, everyone. How are you? This on the heels of my just enrolling in a class on activism, primal intelligence, social justice at the Evergreen State College. And look at these t-shirts, safe and cared for. This is a highly organized, and what did they say, 4.5 million?
That are standing with me now and others to be able to go deep into the community to assist in the healing process as well.
Instead of calling on cops, bringing school resource officers back, the city would contract violence intervention specialists, trusted adults.
Okay, violence intervention specialists, trusted adults. And that's what we're learning. We're in workshops where we're learning that primal, this book, right, that we're reading is Primal Leadership. And they're saying in order to have primal, to be a leader, which is kind of weird to begin with, that we've got these kids studying to be leaders, right? They're like kids, like I don't know. I didn't even think that was American. I thought in the U.S., like, you kind of got older and a little wiser and you became president after being a gentleman farmer or inventing electricity or whatever, sewing flags. So it's interesting that they have trusted adults. And this is where I got in trouble at Evergreen at the age of 19, where I was told, like, you can trust these people, right? So, okay, I guess we'll go from here. It's just wild because this is what I'm learning in class is that it's not, that to be a true social justice warrior, to be a true primal leadership person, you have to also, you know, that's like they talk about empathy and things like that. You know, what is emotional intelligence? When I look in Google, sometimes it's a little bit considered too vague and maybe a bit of a pseudoscience. You know, I talk to people and they'll say emotional intelligence is empathy. But in the book, also the power of persuasion is part of that. The power of persuasion they talk about.
Community hired to keep kids out of trouble.
So here they are, hired to keep kids out of trouble. You know where this is going, right? I mean, part of me was like, am I too cynical? I'm in this class and they're talking about the power of persuasion, and all I'm thinking about, our cult leader. I brought that up. I said, is primal leadership cult leadership? Because it seems so based on, you know, I guess we've got our own P. Diddy thing going on.
The 2024-2025 school year was the long...
I don't know if there's like SCX involved, but I'm so cynical. I just wouldn't put it past them.
launch of this new program.
I mean, if they've got fentanyl, Jesus, and weapons.
But just 1 month after classes began, it's gone dark. Seattle Public Schools and the mayor's office have paused their work in the wake of a
Yeah, very, very serious. Yeah, it turns out that this community program is 100% total and complete scam, and also that it was targeting Native Americans. So, you know, you can see that this, and I'm not saying it's all on the left. I'm sure there's, you know, weird, like, Christian places that do bizarre stuff too. We know that. So, but it's just like, wait a minute. Look at here is like, the amount of fentanyl was like just enough to kill everybody. And where are the pictures? Here's one of the people running it. Let's see what she has to say.
Jackson, that's surprising the region's advocacy community.
Kill his organs in.
Marnie has been prominently featured on King 5.
See, and they always have these slogan and t-shirt things. SC Network Safety Net. I think, is this called Safety Net? The cynicism is unbridled. It is unburdened. Yeah, unburdened cynicism is alive and well. You know, and it's sad. Like, I think I scored a point with my teacher because I knew this film, and she'd never heard of it, and it's from 1954, and I was just reading about it recently that I think it was like the first banned film, or it was super banned, because it was just like kind of too real and too intense, and it was about, you know, these workers in New Mexico who were being just deeply treated horribly in the zinc mines. I'll put a link to that. So, you know, you see these movies. Shame on me. Now she knows another good movie, right? To like kind of bring people over. So you see things like this. She had shown one about Marshall Gantz, who was one of the people who helped organize Chavez and the grape strike. Although it's odd, after I watched it, I was like, I remember the grape strike in the 70s, but no one told us to go on wine strike. And it's interesting because it turned out that it was like the grapes at the vineyards. So I find that interesting. Wow. I mean, here we are. Here's the book Primal Leadership, and it's got, look at that, it's got a magnet, you know, that you are to be so persuasive and so charismatic. Obama's kind of used as the role model in this class, that you are so charismatic that you draw people. But isn't that a little bit like what we're seeing with P. Diddy? Is that kind of like a bit of a P. Diddy thing that's going on? Where we've, but this one's, at least P. Diddy funded his own. I shouldn't say at least because it's horrific what happened. But this is where they're getting the money from the government, from the city mayor. And all are, of course, totally virtue signaling. And what is that? That was a different t-shirt? Was that a different t-shirt? So, you know, that's kind of what we're learning now, or, you know, slogans, you know. And I remember that, like in the ad agencies, I think the most famous slogan was "Kills Bugs Dead," right back in the days of Raid bug spray. And I thought it was funny that we have "Yes You Can" from Obama with the same kind of beat, you know, "Kills bugs dead, yes you can." All this stuff found, and here we have the Lummi Nation. So they sent these wolves into the Lummi Nation, and they got millions and millions of dollars, and they probably got millions more, right, selling the fentanyl. And who knows who that is? These are all just, you know, as Beck says, patting their own backs and kissing their own hands. And I had to see a bunch of politicians on my first day there. My first day there, they had brought 7 politicians in. So it was pretty outrageous what has been going on here. Sorry if this isn't like the best fit, but I had to get it out there because these non-profs and anything that sort of touts itself as safe usually ends up like this. I just saw another one recently where it was something for autistic children in Florida, and it was the same thing. It was a little bit less SJ. This one was social justice all the way, and that's what it was behind it. So, much love.